the Glad Winter and E. On their name, put some respect. Yeah. I think it's time for reality check. Yeah, reality check. Gotta get you back on cold. Reality check. For the young and the old. Reality check. Yeah, to heal your soul. Reality check. Get ready for the show. Yeah, I'm Yoshi. Yeah, and that's X. NTR. You probably be mad at me for what I might say. Man, you probably be mad at me for what I might say. Man, you probably be mad at me for what I might say. Man, you probably be mad at me because I am blunt. I am blunt. I am blunt. I say what I want. I am blunt. I am blunt. I am blunt. I say what I want. I say what I want. No restrictions, no filter here. Only the truth get revealed. We all want the truth and I ill. We all want the truth and I ill. Tell me I'm wrong, I make the correction. Something went wrong, you switch the directions. Hate me so much, you block my blessings. Truth should set you free from exceptions. Loving me, love the heat, hate the babe, learn the street. They hate love the pain. All the music sounds the same. Entertain, not a game. You're to blame. I can never be that kind of way because we all have different emotions and we are entitled to our opinions. But when you talk, it just don't make sense. That's why when you speak, I don't believe it. So I analyze every damn thing and I also do my own research too. So you can't tell me any damn thing and I've been trained to see right past you. The Illuminati, they can't have my body. They can taste my shotty. The Illuminati, they can't leave nobody. They can't hold my body now. No restrictions, no filter here. Only the truth get revealed. All we want, truth and here. All we want, truth and I hear. Tell me wrong, make the correction. Something went wrong, switch the direction. Hate me so much, block my pleasure. Truth is it, truth from possession. You probably be mad at me for what I might say. You probably be mad at me for what I might say. You probably be mad at me for what I might say. You probably be mad at me because I am blunt. I am blunt. I say what I feel. I say what I want. I say nothing but truth. I am blunt. I say what I feel. I say what I want. I am blunt.
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? How's everybody do? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's? Oh, that's Eve. How you doing, Eve?
Hey, Dr. Winters. Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
What up, though, JP?
What up, though?
Brian. Let's talk too. What up, though, Q? Yes, sir. Yes, sirs. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna tell you is that I'm just fascinated. I'm fascinated. And why am I fascinated? I'm fascinated because the fact in the sense is that we're here tonight. We're going to talk about Black is, and this is something to me that's very important to me. And the reason that I feel that it's important is because of the fact in the sense that we rarely think about who and what we are. Sometimes it's the color, sometimes it's the feeling, but it's to me it's even more than that. It's even more than that because the thing is that you want to, in a sense, You want to be able to realize and to make plain to people the beauty of our existence, the beauty of who and what we are. And the thing in a sense that makes us who we are is our identity. And see, what is your identity? How do we find our identity? You know, and I think that identity is very important. You probably say, why do you think identity is important? I think identity is important because the fact is through identity that we discover who and what we are. When you look at this, I really love this picture because in this picture you see a black woman, you see a snake, you see a snake coming up the front of her dress. And when you look at that snake, in a sense, that's to show that spirit nature. That's to show, in a sense, the most important thing about the black woman. Yes, yes. See, we live in a false reality. We live in a reality in a sense where the European has thrown onto us, this patriarchy, which in a sense is not us. It's not us. It's not being us to just feel that the man should be alone or that the woman should always be following the man. You see, when you look at this picture, you look at that sister. You see that big afro. You see, in a sense, that snake coming up the front of her dress, and that snake represents what? That snake represents that whole idea of the spirit. See, remember the original religion, according to some people, was this whole idea of the snake, because the snake, even in the Bible, the snake represented that mystery. The snake represented that knowledge. And you don't see the snake with the brother, you see the snake with the sister. You see the sister has wings, but she doesn't have a wing in a sense that's white. She has a wing that's multicolored. And this multicolor shows, in a sense, the fact that our women, like Eve, they're more than just one person. And see, we often forget, in a sense, we often sometimes feel that when we're talking to a black woman, that we're talking, in a sense, to just a single being. No, you're talking to our generations. You're talking, in a sense, to our beginning and our future. I didn't say end, did I? No, I didn't say end, did I? I said you're talking to our beginning and our future, because see, it's through our black women that we, in a sense, find who and what we are. It's through our black women, in a sense, that create our futures. Yes, our futures. You know, how you doing now, Ela? And it's has to be understood. It has to be understood in the sense that you have to be supportive. You have to, in a sense, give grace. You have to bow down to the sister God. Sister God! Oh, 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 Eve. Oh, Eve. Oh, we got to bring back this, you know, because see, black is you, black is me, black is us, black is free, black is.
Black is. That was beautiful what you said. I love the thumbnail picture. I think it's so fitting what you were talking about, how the black woman is multifaceted and then the wings were multicolored. Um, the snake. Yeah, I was wondering if that was the Kundalini energy thing that people talk about. I think you see the snake in medicine, right?
Yeah,
Or in pharmacy, maybe. Um,
it's
you
in
see the
medicine
snake
too.
on
Remember?
the heads of the pharaohs.
Yeah,
Their hats or whatever those are called, because I don't know what those are called. Um, But I always thought it was crazy that the snake chose to talk to Eve versus Adam, right? Or at least, the whole thing went down with her. And then there's a lot of men who really hate Eve. They have a really hard time with the woman, and they say it's all because of her. And that, just
yeah.
taking the apple and just getting that knowledge, that was not what she was supposed to do, Dr. Winters.
It wasn't. That's what they claim. But the point is, this is that we followed the boss babe. We followed the boss babe, and
Okay.
that's women. That's you. See, you had to understand, in a sense, that when you read the ancient literature, remember the Bible. The Bible is beautiful, but a lot of the Bible is made up ish, and it was written in a sense to show a patriarchal society. And patriarchal societies didn't exist in ancient time among black people. See, and so then in reality, when you read the Sumerian literature, Man was created from the woman's rib. And when you think about it, what would have came first, the chicken or the egg? So then, what would have came first, the woman in the egg, or the man in the sperm? The sperm is nothing. It's only in a sense through the joining of the egg and the sperm that we see the creative spirit. So creation is femininity. Creation in a sense. The making of the new world is through the woman. That's why I always tell people every week. That's why when you really do a search of the pictures of slavery, you always see women getting their ass beat, black women getting their ass beat, or black women always harnessed up, or black women tied up, because see, the European knows that he has to keep you down, Eve. He has to keep you down. See, this is it. I learned from my baby doll. I learned in a sense that your woman, very important. Any brothers out there, it's very important for you brothers to remember that if you treat your woman right, your woman, whatever she wants you to have, you're going to get it. You see, and if you fuck up, whatever she wants you to have, you're going to get it. It's complicated. It's very
That's
complicated.
funny. Actually, that's crazy. Let's do an aside real quick. I watched this Viking saga, or
Mm-hmm.
it was a guy talking about the Viking sagas, and it was, I guess he was talking about Iceland, and there was one of the stories, and the man, he smacked his wife for doing something she wasn't supposed to do, and it was pretty plain that she acted out and he smacked her, and she said, "I'm gonna remember this smack." And then at the end of the saga, like, he ends up dying because of that smack. Like, she held that for years, and then
But isn't that woman?
I was like, whoa. Even in ancient times, um, women be womening. I don't know. That that was rough, because it seemed like, you would want her to do the right thing. Like, it's up to her to, it would, like, I can't remember the exact story, but she was the key to him not dying, and she was like, "No, I'm good. I remember that smack." And so then he dies, and or they kill him, something like that. So
Well, so you gotta understand is that the European, he's taught us a lie. He's taught us a lie that as a man that we control. You see, that we control the universe. We don't control the universe. You see, that's why you have no white prophets. The
interesting.
spiritual people. Yes, the spiritual people in the Caucasian community are usually women. And the
So
seers
what
in the
about the saints then? Like, they do the sainthood, and they
but
make
those saints were all black. They weren't Caucasians.
wonderful. And then
And then
you've got, like, oh, go ahead.
and then the modern saints are all women, right?
Well,
I mean,
right,
in the
right,
Catholic Church,
right. Yes,
they're
yes.
just about all women.
All women. Right,
You
right.
know. I mean, we got a thing in Chicago where they have a celebration every year, and they come from all over the country to celebrate this woman and what she did in a sense in terms of sacrifice.
Mm.
See, the European God can't, excuse me, God can't really talk to the Caucasian male. And the reason God can't talk to the Caucasian male is that he's so dominated by his ego. And the fact in a sense is that he has a tendency to move towards evil. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And because he has a tendency to move towards evil, then therefore he can't get a good relationship with God. Whereas the black man, the black woman, they may be able to have a relationship. You see, it's just like if you notice when you see a white religious group and they're led by a white man, at first everything is copacetic. Then the next thing you know, he's got to go with all the women. Then after he has to go with the women, after a while he has to go with the children. And so then you always see how it devolves in a sense, and it devolves within a sexual precept, and eventually they become homosexual. You see, because the fact is this is that it's de-evolution. And so then therefore, God usually talks to white women in terms of sending a message. You
That is
know,
very interesting.
well, that's what I've noticed over the years. I could be wrong. This
I
is just
mean,
anecdotal.
sure, anecdotal evidence over years, though, it's got to be worth something. Um, I think that there probably are a lot of examples of, well, actually, I find that their women are equally heinous, if not more. So
Hmm.
then that's interesting that they could receive the message through her. But I think that it's what you just talked about, that creative force. Um, when what's her name in the Supreme Court said she didn't know what a woman was, right? As a woman who's had children, that was insane. And but I know
But,
she's
but she
trying to.
was a but she's a tether though.
Oh,
What she's what Tariq Nasheed would call a tether. She's an immigrant woman who was bought into the system. And who is she married to? Come on now, she's married to a Caucasian man. So what else would you expect her to believe? She doesn't know if she's a woman or not.
ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, they might have a very uh, homosexual relationship of sorts because of how he
Mhm.
has to maneuver with her, or how she has to maneuver with him. I don't, I'm sorry, I'm still not sold on the interracial relationship thing. That's not to disparage anybody that I know that's in one of those, but the math is not mathing ever. And now that, well, what we're talking about has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight, and everything to do with just we're talking about it. So if y'all have
How can they love you? How can they love you when they've been conditioned? The male or female has been conditioned to look down on you. The male and female has been conditioned to feel that you're a piece of ish on the bottom of their shoe. And so then therefore, no matter how much money and you might have and how much you can present, I remember my wife's sister. My wife's sister. When she was in her 40s, 50s, in her 50s, she met this brother who used to be an ex basketball player. When he had money, he was married to a white woman. Then, when he didn't have any money, he was trying to find a sister. And so, then, therefore, in a sense, you see this whole idea of CAIDS, culturally acquired immune deficiency syndrome. And see, because the fact, in a sense, that many people, when they suffer from CAIDS, they lose their identity as black people, and once they lose their identity as black people, they're no longer immune to whiteness, and so they forget who they are.
I
They
can see
forget who
that.
they are.
So everybody can suffer from CAIDS then, not just Black people.
No, usually it's just black people. But if you want to look at it in terms of a loss of identity, I don't think white people can ever lose their identity because white people, they feel supreme, and because they feel supreme and they get everything off of privilege, I think it's very difficult for them to ever go through a process in which they may lose their identity as a white person, because I think that it's always going to be present, and they're going to understand that they're the top dog. You know, yeah.
Top dogs upstairs right now. Um, well, that's interesting because tonight I wanted to talk about Black is what is Black, and I think one of the first things that I did as an educator, I was a co-teacher in an English class and a literature class, and they did
Mhm.
like a word association thing. I think we talked about something like this last week, where you say a word and then they say the word that comes to mind, the first word that comes to mind. And it's always Black gets a negative and then white gets a positive. And in real time, you have a classroom full of Black children and that the math starts not mathing. But I've also seen the study and experiment with the Black baby doll and the white baby doll, and then the child chooses the white baby doll because of their conditioning and their environment and what they've been programmed with. So I mean, I get it, but in real time trying to fix that, because no, Black isn't negative.
Would
I
you
mean,
find that? Would I haven't I didn't never like working with the minis. Would you still? Do you think you would still see that if your work if you brought the dolls out with your students? Do you think they
No,
would still pick the white doll? I mean,
no.
even when you were in the public schools.
Well, that's different then, because in the public schools, I find that what's popular is what people identified with. So,
Yeah.
like back in the day, there weren't a lot of black characters. So maybe you didn't want to be the black Power Ranger because he had a jacked up hairline, right? Like this black character they gave you, and his hairline is all jacked up. You don't want to be him, right? You want to be, the Red Ranger or the Green Ranger, but these are not black people, right? So things start getting weird. Now there's all sorts of characters and inclusions and diversities and DEIs and on TV, and you still see the children kind of doing what everybody does, whatever that is, wherever they are. I've seen a bunch of children do the anime thing, like they really like anime, and black children dress up like the anime characters, and there's not black anime characters in mass. I don't think.
There's
But I'm
no
also
Japanese. There's no Japanese anime characters either.
well, right, because they've I think
They
they've
play
got
them
some
out.
identity issues too. But
Yeah,
um um yeah. So anyway, when Spider-Man turned black, they liked it, but the children who already had like Peter Parker, they kind of had this, I don't know how to feel about this. And then the little ones, they kind of identified with it if they did. And then if they didn't, they didn't. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of across the board. I know at my school now, we could bring the dolls out, and they probably would do the which one looks like me the closest. They
yeah.
probably would do that. So there might be some colorism going on. I don't know. But I know that they wouldn't be like the white doll, like, oh, I want that one. No.
But the other day, this brother, I forgot his name. He has a podcast, and he's talking about how people today they don't have any young people don't have any they don't have any relationship to the movies because of the fact that they don't have any heroes. A lot of your generation maybe and earlier generations, they had comic books. Like my kids, like when my kids was growing up, I made them all like Marvel comics, and I even got I got some in my garage that one of my sons had left here. I'm
Are
gonna
they
if you
worth
don't come and
anything?
get them, I'm gonna no. If you don't come and get them, I'm gonna sell them. But anyway, that's it. That's like it's like wealth. But again, in a sense, is that it's not a bad thing, but it gave us heroes. I love anime. I can look at anime all day, and in fact, my baby doll used to say that she used to always want us to look at an anime together, and she would always make sure that I looked at one at a time because I'll look at all 12 in one day, because see I want to get to the end.
The end of the
In a
story.
sense.
Yeah, I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
but again, in a sense, because I think animes are they're well written, they have good storylines, and they deal with issues I think that are important. Some of the ones for the kids or for the girls, the ones for the kids and the girls, they're not so thick. But then some of them you had to really think about them. You had to really, in a sense, how you doing, Siva and Earth Angel? You had to really think about them, and they make you have to try to put yourself in it, and so then the thing is this is that I like to believe that heroes may exist. That's one of the reasons why I love Yoshimod's videos, because Yoshimod's videos, they be you know they they're deep, they're very deep. And so I asked Yoshi one day, I said, why do you make them like that? I said, how do you make them like that? And he said, because that's what I think. That's how you can do it. And see, to me, they're kind of otherworldly. I want to go somewhere else. I can see this plane every day, but I love to see those images that reflect that are outer worldly. How you doing, Brad Murray?
What's up, Fred? I was never into anime. My ex-husband liked anime, and actually, I don't know if he liked anime as much as he liked Dragon Ball. And that I watched all of them. And like you, I could have sat there and watched a whole season because I really want to get to the end.
But they
And then,
want to fight too long. The fights are too long.
well, not even the fight. Sometimes the downtime was too long, and I'm like, let's get back to the fighting. What's going? I need
Oh wow,
one.
you're good. I think the fightings are too long. Just like I think One Piece is pretty good, but One Piece the thing about them is that they just give you a little taste of the story. So that's why they're into the what? They're into the thousands of animes because they just give you a little taste.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, is that you think about the heroes. When I was younger, I had always said I was going to write a novel, and the novel was going to be Manding Warrior, and I was going to have these three people traveling. Of course the Anu. It would be and modernly it would be the dwarf, the dwarf. But see, the Anu, he would be the wise one. He would be the one with the secret knowledge. He would be the one that knew the magic to control the earth. Then you'd have the Mandingo warrior, and he would be the leader. And then you'd have, in a sense, then I wanted to have kind of a young girl who was trying to find out about the world. So it would be the Mandingo warrior and the and things like that. Did you want me to do a little presentation while you talk to your kid?
Actually, yeah, that would be
Okay.
super.
Okay, I'm going to do a little presentation. Excuse me, family. I wasn't trying to be derogatory saying kid, because you may think that that's kind of, but we do think about our children. Again, when you think about black is, you think about what is blackness. Blackness to me is a man and a woman trying to be together. Blackness, in a sense, is trying to move in a direction where you can see positivity. And the thing is that many of us we've lost that. We've lost that ability to really understand is how we do need to share our time with one another. We do need, in a sense, to be representative. When you look at this, I love this visualization. As I said, you have the woman, she has that eagle. Then you have the woman in the background playing the tambourines and other on the drums. And then we have the sisters. We have the sisters, walking on the stage, down in the bottom left hand, right hand corner. And what I think is that this is like a surreal image of what blackness is. Blackness is exploring not just this frequency, but it's exploring the many frequencies that exist. Because see, the world is more than what you can see. And I think that to really understand blackness, you have to understand, in a sense, that is the true meaning of black. When we think about black, we mainly think about this whole idea of darkness, but that's not what black really means. Black means brilliance. Black means shining, because it's in the blackness that burning coal would shine. And so it's through this brilliance that allows us to be who and what we are. We have been taught a lie. The lie was that we have no culture. People ignorant of their culture believe the lie is a stranger. Herskovitz, he wrote a book called The Myth of the Negro Past. And in The Myth of the Negro Past, he said that foundational Black Americans or African Americans had no culture. He said that our culture, in a sense, was lost, and that slavery had ripped away our culture, and that we, in a sense, was just some automatons just waiting to be filled with something from maybe the European or from outside. You see, but that's not true. We do have a culture. We have a great culture. In fact, we have a culture that dominates the whole world. Just think about that. Think about that FBA culture is the world culture today, because it's been FBA genius. In my book, We Are Not Just Africans, the Black Native Americans, I talk a lot about our Aboriginal origins because, see, we went through a ethnogenesis. And this ethnogenesis resulted from the fact that we are descendants of Aboriginal blacks, Black Irish, and sub-Saharan Africans that were all placed on the plantation. They were enslaved. They were chattel slaves. You see, modern civilization is a result of American technological superiority. And this superiority was made by FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Black inventors founded American technology. Jesse Eugene Russell invented the first digital cell phone. Yes, yes. It was Louis C. Lattimore who improved on Edison, but didn't invent the light bulb. He just made the light bulb work. See, yes, Edison. You know, a lot of times Europeans they have ideas, but it takes that FBA to make that idea real, to create that idea. You know, the Hubble telescope was created by George Robert Carruthers, and this Chicago, when he went to the University of Chicago, and this brother, in a sense, he made the first telescope. Yeah, they made a new off of the creation of George Carruthers. Elijah McCoy patented, in a sense, the oil machine. This oiling apparatus allowed machines not to burn up because, you know, as engines run or as machines run, after a while, in a sense, without lubrication, they usually burn up. But see, Elijah McCoy, he invented a patent, and this patent, in a sense, you know, kept the machines oiled and it kept the machines running. You know, that's why they call this patent the real McCoy. Yes, yes, invention is our culture. You see, Otis Frank Boykin, known for the inventing the wire precision resistor. You find these resistors in everything. Every electronic device today has resistors in it. It was Granville T. Woods who created the galvanic battery, the telephone transmitter, electric railway system. You know, think about it. All of what makes the world what it is today is based upon the FBA genius. Black is inventions. Black is creativity. See, black is, you know, one of the key electronic components used in all of today's electronic products, TVs, radios, computers, is a resistor. The resistor used today is based on the invention of an African American. One of the most pervasive inventions of modern history, which virtually all, I repeat, all electronic devices is based on this invention by Otis Boykin. Yes, Mr. Boykin is the inventor of the resistor, a basic electrical component which can be found used in electrical equipment like microwave ovens, clocks, computers, radios, everything. There would be family. There would be no modern society without FBA inventions, you know. Mark E. Dean, born March 2nd, 1957, is an American inventor and computer engineer. He developed the ISA bus, and he led a design team making a 1 gigabyte computer processor chip. You see? We invented the chips, and they're fighting, you know, America's trying to fight the Chinese because now the Chinese is trying to take over the chip market, but we began it, baby, you know. He holds 3 of 9 PC patents for being the co-creator of the IBM personal computer released in 1981. Yes, yes, yes. Where would we be today without the computer? Where would we be today without the personal computer? That's what I'm using right now. Black is being creative. Black is sharing knowledge. Black is being able to make the invisible visible. The inventor of the cellular phone is Henry Sampson. I already showed you the other brother who did some very exploratory research earlier. You know, Sampson is a FBA from Jackson, Mississippi. House and transferred to Purdue. He received an MS in engineering from the University of California. He was awarded the MS in nuclear engineering from Illinois. Fire up Illini! I'm an Illini. I don't want to get carried away. But everybody's always celebrating that they went to HBCUs. I went to a PWI. I'm sorry. Sampson is the first African American to receive a PhD in nuclear engineering. You know, again, in a sense, black is being who you are. Black is being able, in a sense, to stick together. Black is being able to be with your woman. You see, black, we invented the musical forms. POWs, we love music. We played all types of instruments. We played them on the plantation. Our music is the creation. It comes from our black Irish, African, Aboriginal roots, the banjo, the fiddle. The fiddle wasn't nothing but the old violin that the black Irish brought here. When we have our brass instruments, we didn't get them from white folks. We got them from the black Irish, who were the slaves on the plantation. When we got later, in a sense, what is the most important instrument in most churches? The black instrument you can find is what is in a sense, the beautiful, pianos, because it was these things in a sense that we really loved. We loved the harps too, and so then these things in a sense came from these black Irish who brought them over here. And also in the churches you have to always mention the organ. So again, FVA music is a combination of Africans. We got brass and we got violins. We got those from the black Irish. We got in a sense the guitar, sitars. We got that from our African roots, and we put them all together on the old plantation. Y'all saw us down on the plantation. We made it rock, baby, rock, rock, rock. We have a lot of beautiful music. We had to, in a sense, James Monroe, he was born in slavery, did a very beautiful work on our music, and of course, one of the greatest people who created our style, who created, in a sense, our our presence, was Elizabeth Taylor back in the 1850s. And one of the earliest journals was the Negro Music Journal. Check it out. But today, I know Dwan B, he's working on music. He's made a very beautiful family tree. If you can, try to order this family tree, because what it does is that it gives you an understanding of our great history. So what is black? What is black? Black is you. What is black? Black is me. What is black? Black is us. What is there she is again. Hi.
Hey, Dr. Winters, that was a beautiful presentation of our ingenuity. And I agree. Our culture is definitely creative and inventing, and their culture is invading. And
You got that right.
We should definitely put the appropriate wording. Spelling matters, you guys. At least it does to me over here on this channel. On tonight, black is beautiful, right? I was thinking when you said black is brilliant, my aunt, she had this ring, and it was it opal or was it onyx? Onyx? Maybe it's onyx. Onyx is black, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was so shiny, right? I always thought it was like a black diamond, but it wasn't. It's something else. And then diamonds come from things that are black, right? Coal is black. And what we were talking about, how it is how you see the illumination. You can't see the light without the blackness or without the dark. So I don't know. I wonder if there's a way to unglitch everybody. Like, is there a way to fix it? Can we put some energy into making black all the beautiful things that it is, and putting bleach in its appropriate category? Or is it too late?
It's never too late, because remember, the thing that's really led to us being negative in relationship to black and what black is epigenetics. And social epigenetics can always be impacted upon. In other words, your societal experiences can cause, in a sense, a genetic change. It can cause, in a sense, you moving to a different frequency. You see, I mean, just think about when you were younger and how you went through different stages. When you were a teenager, you felt a certain way. Oh, giggly girl. Then when you got older, in a sense, you said, damn, I like giggling, but I can't giggle. Then people would think I'm a chump. So then you had to just giggle in your mind. In your mind. You see. So you're constantly struggling with this whole idea of black is being able to to just feel so wonderful. When I think of blackness, I think of my children. When I think of blackness, I think of my woman. And I think of because see, to me, I was listening to this brother. I was listening today, and it's about James Earl Jones, and I admire James Earl Jones. I've loved his voice. I've loved his acting ability, but he said that he couldn't deal with a black woman because a black woman was too hard. A black woman wasn't feminine. And I felt that's bullshit. The white women ain't feminine. I went to college with them. They're not feminine. The only thing they do well is perform oral sex. That's the only thing they do well. That's what I found. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but I went to school with them. I went to college with them, so I know what they do, and I know why them basketball players with them. But anyway, that's another story. But
No,
what?
I think it's on par. Because in real time, you got the passport bros saying that, they have to travel across seas, fight the 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 elements to go find themselves a feminine woman in the sticks of some country with a beautiful beach and very cheap amenities and utilities and such. Um, I think that it's so funny because in real time, those women are trying so hard to get over here. And then I've seen videos that they don't seem feminine at all. They actually seem pretty ratchet, like they're emulating the worst of the worst. Like, how is this what you're showing everybody? And then in real time, everybody's saying, yeah, that's what we want. We don't want Shaniqua because Shaniqua's all angry. I want Mei Ling because she understands sacrifice, or she understands my role or something. And
I
I'm
don't know
like,
what they're looking for. You know,
I don't know.
because see, to me, I, to me, a woman is a woman. I don't care if she's Asian. I don't care if she's black. I don't care if she's white. You see, you push them too far, they will pretend real nice. They'll pretend real nice when you first start off with them, but once they feel that you care about them, then they may push things a little bit further. My father always taught me growing up is that the white man, what made him superior to us was that the white man could control his woman because he had the purse strings. You see,
Mm.
and now if you notice, since title was it title 12 or whatever it is, since the whatever that title was, now white women have jobs, and you can't and the white man can't, yeah, and the white man can't control them any more than a brother control a sister. But then also, Eve, let me ask you a question. Why do some men feel they have to control women? I don't understand that.
That's a good question. I think maybe it's societal, like you said. If the dominant society, or at least everybody, has said that the man is leading or is supposed to lead, then you can't lead unless you have control. Like a car, you can't drive the car unless you have control over the things that help you drive the car: the wheel, the gears, the gas, and the brake, right? So if you don't have control over the car, you can't drive it. However, I find that if you have people playing their role in the car, then the trip is so much more fun, or enjoyable, or at least it's just not a pain. So who's driving? Who cares? Are we getting there? And then again, is everybody doing what they're supposed to do? Because if I'm driving, then the music needs to be right and the temperature needs to be right. And I don't want to worry about that stuff because I'm worried about what's on the road. And I think that I give the same courtesy when I'm passenger princessing, but that's not up for me to tell y'all about. So
Passaging princessing. What is passaging princessing? Can you explain that? I never heard that before.
passenger princessing, it is the female who, she's basically just in La La Land, and the man is driving her around because she doesn't want to deal with the toils and craziness of traffic, because who has time for that? um, so she's got her drinks and she's got her blankie and she's got her whatever. No, I'm not bad like that. Actually, I prefer to drive. It's a funny thing over here, because I think in the South, maybe that's what it is, Dr. Winters. Down south here, I find that it's more accepted that the man is supposed to lead and do the things that mean lead. So drive, pump the gas, do the directions thing. Um, I don't know, plan trips maybe. I don't know. Up north, maybe it's more equal or democratic. I don't know. Just seems like.
You brought up a good question, because I I can only talk about my relationship and what I try to teach my sons. I see it more as a partnership. I think if the woman wants to lead, fine. If she doesn't want to lead, fine. But I think in the sense that really much of the relationship, should be based upon a partnership, based upon a discussion. And
Yes.
I think women control a bedroom. You know, Women control, yes, they do control a bedroom, Eve. I guarantee you that if you don't do what she says, you will not go to sleep that night, because she's going to keep on talking about it. So you're going to give in and you go to sleep. You thought I was talking about something else. No, I wasn't talking about that. I
That's
wasn't talking about that, because I was talking about the fact that she controlled that bedroom. And when you tired and you want to go to sleep, you want to go to sleep. But if mama's mad, you're
Yep,
not
yep,
going to
yep,
sleep,
yep. You're
baby.
not going to sleep.
You're
That's
not going to
funny.
sleep.
I
Yeah.
I mean, I hear that, and I agree with you. I think that relationships should be partnerships. They should be complementary. Everybody's not going to be able to do the same things, nor are they going to want to. And you're not necessarily going to have the same strengths. Like maybe you found somebody just like you, and you know y'all have the same strengths and you have the same weaknesses. I don't know how that works, but I find that when it's not so we're both doing the same thing, that's when you can find the partnership or the balance. You can find what works for y'all. It's when people start applying that societal, um,
Hmm.
I don't want to say understanding, but it's like a conditioning, of how things are supposed to be. And then when they don't match up to what society has told them is what they're supposed to be doing, that's when the glitching starts. I think that maybe men who don't want to lead, or men who aren't, what's the word, uh, wanting to be in a decision making position, might feel some kind of way about that if society's telling him that that's what you're supposed to be doing. So then now you got to make all these decisions you don't want to make. So you probably
Yeah.
mess it up. Or maybe that's why you don't want to make decisions, because you feel like you're going to mess it up and everybody's telling you you're the one that's got to make the decisions. But what if you get with a female who helps you balance that out, right? Does that mean you're not being a man? Or because I don't know how that makes you less than. I think that that makes you you, right? And you got to be you, authentically you. And then you can find your partner, because then they'll see what they're getting.
But see, it's two things. It's two things. Is that, as a linguist, I believe words have meaning. I believe it's very difficult to change words, the meaning of words. And so then, therefore, I think that in any type of a relationship, then you have to have friendship and you have to have partnership. And I think that if you have friendship, then that allows you to be able sometimes to be able to go through a process of compromise. For example, if you're in a relationship, sometimes you're gonna let the woman have her way. Then sometimes the woman gonna let you have your way. And then most of the time, in a sense, if you're smart, you're gonna let the woman think she has her way, and you still controlling everything behind the scenes. But anyway, we won't talk about that. But
No, let's not talk about that. That's
yeah,
such a good idea.
but again, in a sense, it's trying to enforce. See, most most modern foundational Black American men, they don't know what black is, and the reason they don't know what black is because they've been taught they've been taught a lot of negatives about blacks. For example, you hear these brothers on the, on on YouTube, and they never had a woman in their life. And they're talking about what do a woman bring to the table? You got to, in a sense, you got to really, women are too masculine. A woman is masculine if she just says, let's go and spend the money here. She's being masculine then because she's trying to dominate. Get the hell out of here. That's part of life. But see, the whole point is this: is that I was an observer, and I like my father. My father, I loved him. I love the hell out of our old man. And the thing is, I just noticed this is what he would do. He would when he would get paid on a Wednesday, he did construction. When he would get paid on a Wednesday, he'll he'll give my mother some money, and then in a sense, then he was cool. He'd give her the money. Then he'd sit around a while. Then he would purposely start an argument. He would start the argument, you see. But then he would get but then my mother would get all involved in the argument about then my father say, "Damn, I just can't tell. I got to go out." You see, and then he would go out. And so to me, I just felt that my old man was just trying to get in an argument. Well, he can make her feel guilty that he can go out and have a good time,
I
with
mean,
his friends or whatever. I thought it was hip. It was smart to me.
it sounds very smart. You got to be strategic with this stuff, right?
That's right.
Um, I think that's wonderful because in real time, it's your experience that would allow you, or it would restrain you from identifying as. And then, in real time, like you said, people don't know what black is. That the modern Black American doesn't necessarily know what black is as much as they've been taught that it's something bad.
And he don't know how much he needs you. He don't know how much he needs you. He don't know how much he needs a black woman too. He don't know. He don't even understand that.
That's even more crazy because if what you say is true, and the woman can bring the man that is her man what he wants, when he's doing things, whatever those things are, then he's missing out, right? It's so sad. And then again, to me, the math never mathed because you can't tell me at any point in your life you've felt how I felt in certain scenarios, right? Because you've never been there. And people really want me to feel them. And to me, that's like the transgender argument. If you're not cool with you, why do I have to be cool with whatever it is you've got going on, right? Like, you need to be comfortable with that. And then if you're comfortable with that, you're not debating me anymore as much as you're just answering questions that I have about, the union or partnership. Because like you said, the experience, that matters. People will say, well, my parents were really mean and bad or racist or whatever, and I'm not like that. So I said, I'm going to do something else. But they don't see that it's rebellion, that they're just kind of acting against their programming. Not that their glitching isn't a necessary step in the right direction, but it is still a glitch. It's not like a conscious decision that they've made. But then I see these millennial white parents, and they're all very Kundalini energy. They've got crystals, they got locks, they're vegan, they're very conscious. And then they have babies, and their babies are supposed to be growing up in this lifestyle. And I wonder about those people. Is it going to be like little outliers, or are their children going to rebel against what their parents have tried to program them with? Because if white supremacy is still a thing, then they might be mad that their parents have tried to divorce them from this power structure, because you don't have
but they never, but I think you're taking it too far, Eve. Don't get mad at me, but you're taking it too far. I don't think they try to reprogram their children to reach a point where they can avoid feeling that they're white supremacists. They still want their privileges now.
Hmm.
They can talk. I mean, they can talk that that they want equality, equity for everybody, but they still want their privileges as
Right.
as white folks. And I think that therefore, in a sense, is that they can rebel, but they always come back. It's just look at all the hippies. All the hippies of the '70s are not the ultra conservatives of the '20s,
It's very
2020.
true.
Yeah,
Very true.
you know.
Very true.
And because see, it's very difficult. Like I remember, I used to really admire. I used to really admire, you know, Miss Clinton. I used to really admire her. I thought she was really a good person. But then somewhere along the line, she became, in a sense, a militarist. She became, in a sense, she lost something. And it seems as though that with Europeans, it seems as though with Caucasians, they 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 evolve they evolve into their nature, which is aggression. They evolve in their nature, which is to be overlords of other people. And I think that's very difficult. And I think that with black people, because of the fact that the European has taught us to reject each other, we don't understand that it's yin and yang is good. You being the opposite of your man is good, and him being the opposite to you are good, because that way, in a sense, you don't compete with each other, and then at the same time, you still can find where you can relate. See, but when you think totally alike, just like me, my baby doll, she loved black people. She loved in a sense history. She loved knowing about her history, but she said, "Fuck you, I come first," and that was just it. Don't put no book in front of me. I remember when I was in college, and I told my baby doll, I said, she said, "You're always doing research." I do have a bad habit, and she said, so I said, "I promise." And back then, I used to try to keep my promises, and I said, "Okay, Fridays, I'm not going to do it." And then one day I didn't do it. I said, "You didn't keep your word." And so then we had an electric stove. We was in a married student housing in Urbana. And then she took my book and she put it on the electric stove and set it on fire. It was a
Ooh.
paperback. And I just said,
Ooh.
okay. I mean, it didn't bother me. My father taught me well. My father taught me well. You see, my father taught me that don't fight, you know. But the thing is, but then one day she said, "You know something? I really wish I could beat your ass." I said, "I don't hit you. Why do you want to beat my ass?" She said, "Because you're. I know I brought this up before." She said, "You're really something else." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm lovable. I'm quiet. Look, I'm lovable. I laugh.
I'm
You
just
sit up there."
quiet, right?
So then I said, "Okay, you play me and I play you." And so then she played me, and I said, "That's not me," but it
Oh,
helped me.
okay.
It helped me in that role play, because then I did see, oh, you are kind of an asshole and stuff. You know, you're really something else. You're very arrogant, and I didn't think I was arrogant. I thought I was down to earth. But again, in a sense, black is being delusional. I guess I don't know. I don't know. You know, but Eve, sometimes you do need, in a sense, I think, your mate to sometimes tell you the truth. I think that's why you really want to have a good relationship with your mate, so you can have somebody to tell you the truth. Because you look at people like Diddy and some of the others, and they have all these people around them, and they lose themselves. They lose themselves,
Absolutely.
and I think that black is trying to build. To me, black is trying to build a relationship with your woman. Black
Hmm.
is trying to build a relationship with your children. If possible, black is trying to build a relationship with your family. And these things are very hard, though. It's very hard, because like I said, my one of my sons and stuff, they weren't gangbangers around me, because I would have whipped their ass. But the point is, this is that he moved, he lived on the west side for a while, and he had a good time being him, so he rebelled. I brought this up many times. A couple of times he came over to the house. I walked over to the car, and once he let the window down, I got a contact baby. I maybe was feeling high, but the point is this: is that they come back, They come back. Luckily none of them went to jail. I'll praise one to God. Keep my fingers crossed. None of them went to jail. They work. They take care of their wives and their families. I told them I didn't want them to be no. I didn't want them to cut out on their wives. I wanted them to stay there. And some of them married baby mamas. So hey, I must have did something right because they don't mind. Because most people nowadays they don't want to deal with baby mamas.
I call cap on that, Dr. Winters. I know what people say, and I know that there's a lot of very loud people, but in real time, it's not my experience, and this is not anecdotal. I just don't think that tonight is the night where we're about to just, hit the Rolodex on all the baby mamas that have their DMs full of promises, and maybe they're empty promises, who knows, but just
they are.
The time and attention. To me, if baby mamas are throwaways, then you wouldn't spend so much time trying to get a throwaway. Like the math don't math. I call cap.
But see, the math does math. You don't understand what the math is. The math is this. The math is to get some easy sex and don't stay too long. Now, if you stay too long, you're going to fall in love. I used to always tell my sons, don't fall in love with a hoe. One of my sons made a mistake and did, but luckily he got a divorce. Oh yes, I'm not going to name him. Oh yes, he did, because he made that fatal mistake. He stayed too long.
Can't stay too long, fellas.
Can't stay too long with a hoe.
Didn't quit it.
That's right, because not just that, but the point is this: is that some people feel that they can change people. And that's how men and women make their mistakes. They know a guy's a hoe. They know a guy's a hoe, but she seems so nice. She seemed like if they just get the right guidance, they'll stop being that hoe. But no, they're not. A hoe.
A hoe's a hoe.
A hoe's a hoe. Ho. No, hoe's a hoe. Somebody who's a cheater, I'll put it like this. I won't say hope. Somebody's a cheater, they're a cheater. They're gonna cheat anyway. I mean, no matter how beautiful you are or how, they're gonna still cheat on you. You can have sex with a cheater every night when they're home.
When they're home.
Sex with a cheater 2 or 3 times a day, but she'll still find somebody else to cheat with, because that's how they feel. But Black is trying to find unity. Black is trying, in a sense, to create an environment where two people can grow together, two people can be together, two people, in a sense, can learn. Rodney Mizell said that, Mr. Winters, why do more science brothers say black is a new term? It wasn't used in ancient time. That's because they're ignorant. They don't understand. The Egyptians, they called themselves Kemet, didn't they? The king,
Black people from the Black land.
Yeah.
And some of these people online, I wince when I say this because I'm one of these people online, right? You're one of these people online. But I've never asked anybody to just believe anything that I've ever said, as much as the information is out there if you want it, and then it's up to people to do some research, because some channel that talks about abos, says that some of these enslaved ancestors weren't real. Or like, have you heard that Harriet Tubman is a man? Have you heard that one, Dr. Winter?
Yeah.
So like, I don't get it as much as I get that people listening to them and they start just saying shit because
they can.
Right. You can, and you've at least got 2,000 people who don't give a damn because they just really like you. The cult of personality is real. Black, I think, is bridging the gap. I like the night sky. It's very dark. I like sleep. When you close your eyes, but that's not even black. That's a different color. I'm wearing black. I find that it matches with everything, except for people who wear like different shades of black. that's weird to me, and I'm always going to think that that's weird, you know, like if you got black on, like can it all be the same color black so that we can just for my eyes sake, because it's very selfish what I'm asking of you of your own clothes, but you know that's
Can
just,
we be? Can't we be? Can't we be selfish sometime? Eve? I don't know.
I
What do
mean,
you?
yeah, no, I am selfish a lot, but my caveat is that I'm honest about it. And I don't really care if someone says no as much as if I don't say something about it, then it's gonna be a no, right? So the math, you know, got to make the math. Eve likes the math to math, you guys. And black is everything and nothing. And I like it. I like that it's both and you don't ever have to have white for it to not exist, right? Because light, not even light is white. White is is like smoke, but it's not white, that's gray. White's like ashes, but
Yeah,
that's not even white, that's gray. You know, like there's not a white unless you've really processed it. You know,
and
it's
it's
really
empty.
right
It's
and
empty.
empty.
Cause
Yes.
see, cause see, originally black meant pale, but now
Black
we
meant pale.
yeah, but now today when you say pale face, you look at a Caucasian, you know. But
Hmm.
how you doing on Natty? Create so far says this, and you know he says you can't trust a big butt and a smile. Remember that lyric from Belle Biv DeVoe. I used to love Belle Biv DeVoe, but the point is this: is that it depends on who you are. You know, curvy and not too curvy. And my wife
Not
is
like this, but
yeah,
like
yeah. So yes,
this.
my wife averaged between what 26 and 126 or 137, something like that. And then she
Oh,
got
she's
bigger.
tiny. Your
But
wife is
she was
tiny.
about 5'8" or 5'9".
And she's even more tiny.
She was about, but 5'9" is tall.
I'm
And
saying your wife is my weight at her height, and I'm not big.
yeah, but see, my wife was a beautiful, sexy woman, and you're a nice looking woman yourself.
Well, thank you.
But it's
But I'm
just that
saying, like, I'm a little midget compared to your wife at this point, and then she's my weight, so she really got the.
yeah, she's a very beautiful woman, and to me, and the point is I understand that whoever you what you think is beautiful to you. What you think is handsome to you. Because see, the thing is, this is that it's what you like. Like some people really like what they call stack women, whatever, which is the natural state when you look at ancient African women, you know, except in Egypt, you know, the most of the women were very voluptuous,
Right.
and that's beautiful. You know, I think it's good, but I think it's what you like. I think maybe because I was big, then therefore in a sense I like small, because I was, you know, then when you're dark you like light skin, then light skin like dark. You know, opposites attract.
Complimentary, right? But even inside of that, I that brings me back to the whole interracial thing, because if you don't know who you are, then you're not going to be attracted to you. And then in real time, people say that you get attracted to someone like your parents, you know, like you like someone like your
Wow,
dad, or you like someone like your mom, or
I don't know
maybe
about that.
maybe there's something there, some, not like what they look like, but just behaviors or
I don't know
something.
about that.
Really?
No, I don't. I don't. I think that I think my sons. I think my sons. They they married who they love and they like. You know, me and my wife we talked about that a couple of a couple of a couple of a couple of weeks before she died. She said, you know, I was surprised. You know, they say your sons marry people like their mother. She said, none of my sons married anybody like my mother. So then the thing is this is that so you know you let people be people,
But
and
actually, let me push back just a bit,
yeah,
because I don't know your son. So, Dr. Winter minis that are all older than me or whatever.
yeah, they are older than you. So
Here's my question, fellas. Whichever one of you who has the wife that said, look at him over there, look at him. I did that.
that's my oldest son. You know,
That's not your baby doll, Dr. Winters.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that he picked a very pretty wife, but I don't like to say I don't like to say she's the prettiest. That's not fair. All my daughter-in-laws are very attractive.
But I
You
don't mean
know,
like her looks. I mean, when I say like you pick someone like your parents or whatever, it's something that they do. And maybe not for everybody, but I mean, I've heard so many stories down to this dude was exactly like my dad, and I didn't even know that my dad was like this until people started saying, "Oh, he's just like your dad. He's just like your or whatever." And it might not be the whole person, but just something that she did was like, damn, I know that.
well,
I've
uh,
heard that before. Like that's familiar to
my
me.
daughter, my daughter's not looking for guys like me, and that's what you or guys like her brother. My sons always say she never listens to me, but hey, that's the whole point, though. Is that we have the right to be whoever we want to be, and I think that's the beauty of being who you are. Black is
No,
being able to be
no,
you.
I'm gonna fight that. I don't like that because in real time, you're saying that it's okay for an interracial relationship because
No, I'm not saying that.
you love who you love.
No, I'm not saying that.
You
I'll
are.
never say that because see, I'll tell
You might
anybody.
not use those words.
I'm not. No, my kids know that. No, I would never tell them that I support a white marrying somebody white, or that I wanted them to be gay. No, those are two things I didn't want. But I wanted them to be able to love who they wanted to love. You see, and what I mean by that is that
You want
I
the
had
math to math,
I
and then
had
you be
yes,
you. I
I
got you.
had I had I had my wife, my wife in the sense I want her to have pretty legs, you know, shapely, beautiful eyes, things like that. Beautiful, and then my wife always said, "You always want beautiful shit." I said, "Yes, I do like beautiful shit." And she said, "Well, why are you getting overweight?" I said, "I didn't say me, did I? Said like
Ah.
beautiful." I said, "Well, when I was younger, I did look good back then." But anyway, yeah, fellas, you always got to, fellas, you should try to stay in shape so you can be attractive. Because you remember, in terms of relationships with your woman, it's more in her mind. And when she can see that physical fat ass body, sometimes it's not as attractive as you might remember or believe. So try to stay in shape.
Oh. Is this a good time for some commercials?
Yeah, I'm going to do that now.
Cool.
Okay. Today is today. We need to homeschool our children due to white supremacy. In many states, education departments are passing laws to deny our children from learning the history of foundational Black Americans. Today, you can learn how to organize and teach your children in a homeschool in my book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black Americans. You can use my book, History of Blacks in America from Prehistory to 1877, to teach our children their history here in the United States. You can use my book to teach world history. And this book I've written is called The World History of the Black World. This will teach your children about every Black civilization in the world. Get this book. The time is now. Get these books to teach your children about their greatness, to prevent them from losing confidence in their own ability to learn and be successful future adults in employment and education.
What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB, or find me on X at Justice, the number 4, Just Us. That's JUSTICE, the number 4, JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first.
touch her heart with a dinner rose. Shake the spirit one time, it gets old. She gon' take me out of space into another zone. Free spirit, she ain't messing with them petty hoes. Microwaves and cobalt us out of phone. Funkadelic vibe and smoking good on that throne. Call me eat the night with the cuz all up in a fro. This queen approach, she gon' drop it low to the flow. You know she liquid gold with the alchemy in the bowl. Trippy super soul, it's the greatest tale never told. She gon' get you right, you can set up on your goals. You gon' spend the night in the harmony out with your toes. You know she super fine in the aura down to her bones. Super magic fairy, I'm lost in the rituals. She give me life like butterflies on the rose. Really rich and old, ain't nothing like cracker trolls. Hidden in the clothes, an extraterrestrial. And she never fold, trap crackers up in the throat. She drinking wine, she rock you up like a pole. And she spark my mind with intellectual pose. Shake butter oils and linger up in your nose. Independent goddess, like rhythm up in the soul.
Yellow honey, drip slow, sweet agave, at the toe. Independent finance, wine, citrus mist. My Wonder Woman, I wonder how to.
Hey, you guys got to get some of that jewelry from Tone Spy. It is fantastic.
G-I-J, comma J, equals 0. Now, G-I-J, comma J, equals 0. Hey, now, say it loud, louder and loud, let us all celebrate. G-I-J, comma J, equals 0. Hey, now, G-I-J, comma J. We no beg, steal, or borrow. We bury Jim Crow under the ground. And we no dig him up. This is the black man's time. Yes, this is the black man's time. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Hey, yes, I'm living the truth.
Goggled. That's the God theory. Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals of America. Yes, I've written a new book. This book is called History and Culture of Afro-Americans. It's about the Aboriginal Americans. It's about the first people who inhabited America. Many people don't know about our great culture, this super culture that we created, but I discuss this book. In 489 pages, you'll find out so much information, great information, about, in a sense, what the Aboriginal foundational Black Americans did. You're going to see, in a sense, that Black people contributed much here. When the first Europeans got here, that's what they found. Yes, they found Black Aboriginals inhabiting the Americas. It was the Black Aboriginals that built this country. This is why you had to get my book, History and Culture of the Aboriginal Blacks of the Americas. In this book, you will find out the truth. You will know what we created. You will know who we are. Get this book. Buy it now.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
That video and some of the others were made by Yoshimon Productions. You guys, Yoshi, you guys should support Yoshimon Production. He can make some great advertisements for you. You can make videos. He'll do the music. He'll do the writing. He'll do the artwork. This guy is great. Support Yoshimon. Eve, you should tell Isla, maybe she could work out some arrangements with Yoshi Mod to maybe do a video of her merchandise, and we could show her just be vegan store healthy snack
She's
commercial.
Isla is sharing our store. It's just vegan or just vegan, however
Oh,
you.
it's something that you do. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it's
our
just
merch
Eve.
store that we have the new water bottles in there. The Are You Stronger Than a Barbell? That's in there, and then we've got
Yeah.
it's not quite cookie season, but it's so funny. I get more cookie orders over the summer than I do during the winter.
That's
Strange to me.
interesting.
But whatever. I'm here all year. For your cookie needs if you feel so inclined. Um, and then we got shirts and stuff, so that she's been sharing that in the chat. Um, but I think she is about to share Yoshi's new channel on YouTube. So you guys should all subscribe over there. I think he only has like 7 subscribers on his new channel. All 300 plus of his current subscribers, plus all of you guys need to go ahead and hit the subscribe on his new channel. And like, let's migrate the audience over to
You
where.
know, it is so interesting to me that Yoshi has thousands of supporters on TikTok. You
Mhm.
have tons of supporters on Instagram and Twitter, and yet it's hard to get those people to migrate to other
Platform.
channels, other platforms. And I don't understand.
It's
Do
so
you?
Look, in real time, Dr. Winters, I only have like 500 and some change subscribers on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
But my subscribers who have, I want these notifications. I have personalized, I want to know when Eve's live. We've seen it in real time. They're not getting the notification for
Oh
hours.
wow,
And
really?
it's like, that's crazy to me because I shouldn't be shadow banned at no 500 subscribers, but what is that? And then it'll like my comments won't show up. Um,
Wow.
I've had
But
I've had
we're not the Black Authority. We're not this channel is not there. It's not going there. I don't understand, but I can understand me being shadow banned for my Thursday program. But I don't understand why they would be shadow banning us. We're talking about just regular stuff,
That's right.
you know.
It's just regular stuff. But look, in real time, regular stuff. This is what regular stuff is. A couple of years ago, we did some billboards. Have a group on Facebook, Citizens for Reparations, and uh, the Black Authority had a good example of doing billboards to speak your speech, and it's a dead media, really. So you can kind of get a really good um, rate, and contract for the space that you use because people aren't doing billboards anymore. So, a lot of us came together and said, we got some money, we'll put some billboards up. And what I found is that you can't really talk about being Black because it's polarizing. And it's so strange that just talking about your Black experience is polarizing. And when you're polarizing, you can't be so loud or blunt. Shout out to Yoshi, on these platforms because people get very nervous and they get very uncomfortable when the truth is presented to them in a very black and white way. So saying, well, there one of my billboards got straight denied, and it said, hold on, I want to find it. It was about qualified immunity, and I didn't think that it was horrible as much as I understand polarizing is a thing, and you can't be polarizing. But then in real time, the same company would put police officers with assault gear and riot gear on the billboard, and it would be a hiring sign.
Yeah.
That's polarizing, because why are the police acting like military? Like, why is that the selling point for this job that's supposed to be protecting the community? Who are they protecting the community from when they've got war gear on? Like, what is going on? But if you look like us, you can't have such thoughts.
But
So,
you know, the thing that get me is this: is that I don't really understand any of that because, it's not that important. But then they'll let the Black Authority and Tariq have 100,000 subscribers, and many of them do get those messages. So I think it's like what Nelly Fuller said. They play both sides, and when they and sometimes maybe they feel that they're not getting nothing from us, and maybe they feel that we're not having the same message, maybe a message of division. Maybe we're not having a message of division. So then therefore they may feel that, damn, we can't let people listen to them. They might get some people to think, you know.
that's very interesting.
They might
I
get a
heard
reality
that
check.
before. Yeah, I like what you did there. Um, in real time, I've heard that before. I've heard that because other channels are very eager to sow some sort of dissent, and or they're very rah about the cause, that that's more acceptable than a message that says you don't have to do all of that. And I don't necessarily know that I'm saying you don't have to do all of that, as much as there's an easy way and an easier way, and then dealer's choice. How do you want to play it? Because I'm cool with either way. Um, the billboard, I let me see if I can show it to you guys real quick. This got denied flat out, straight up denied, and I found that I don't know why they would have such an issue with the message unless it weren't true, right? Maybe it's just not a true message. And if it's not a true message, then I guess that's why.
It's the wording. It's the wording.
Yeah.
I want to stop. See. You said want to stop killing Black people. That did
Yeah,
it.
no, you can't say that. Um,
You can't even
they
do certain.
wouldn't tell me that I had to take off black. They
Yeah,
just said that this is too polarizing,
yeah.
and if I could come up with a better wording for the message, then they would reconsider it. But
You might not believe how hard it is to make my thumbnails for from Chat GPT. A lot of times they'll say it's polarizing, and they won't do it. That they certain things related to black black history, the way you present it, they won't even let you make. They won't even do a report or definitely won't make you allow you to make certain images.
ooh,
They'll say it's polarizing.
oh no. Um,
Yes. But I do notice that there's some people. Well, last what a week or so ago, Yoshi showed me some other AI places where they might allow you because those white racists, they're able to produce images that are racist and polarizing,
hmm
and not just with that frog.
That's very true. They know how to do the workarounds, the get arounds, the loopholes, and all of that stuff. That is their story. That is what they should be claiming. Like the patent office and the invasions and the usurpings and the infiltratings and the taking overs. Um, I think that hi mom. In real time, when we're talking about what is black, I think
Hi, Pooh Bear.
that's my mom. In real time, you can't talk about what is black without talking about what is white, because they did that. They made it this yin and yang thing when in real time we were already multifaceted, multicolored, multicultural. There wasn't just a one look. There was no cookie cutter person, and then the roles changed, the power shifted, and now we've got, you have to fit inside of this mold, and then inside of the mold, well, if you're glitching, well, then you're not who you say you are. You've got Rachel Dolezal, who is white woman, just a white woman with white parents, who says that she's black. And I don't know if it's mental illness, clout chasing, or both, but she says she's black.
Mhm.
And she really has gone all the way with it. And then I want to say I saw a German model who has done all this skin
Ooh,
tanning.
oh wow. Ugh.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen her?
Oh
She's
yes,
like
the
orange.
lips and
And yeah,
ugh.
it's really crazy that she's
Yeah.
gone through all of this work for this aesthetic, but in real time, they want to be us, but they don't want our struggle. They want white privilege with our coolness or our jazz or our swag or whatever you want to call it. It's it is an infiltration of sorts. It's what they do. Um,
But you know,
we got us trying to imitate them, imitating us. So there's that too.
but it's very interesting. I've always admired the fact that the white mind can really create, but again, in a sense, I think the white mind is so strong, and the white mind can disassociate, and I think the white mind can compartmentalize thoughts better than us. I think because of the fact that by them living in the caves for 10,000 years and eating each other and making their tools out of human
Mold.
bones and
Yep.
skin. I think they've learned how to be able to disassociate, compartmentalize various things that they think can harm them mentally, so that it can protect them, from maybe having, in a sense, the the feeling guilty. I think it helps them.
I
you know
agree. I couldn't agree more. Eating each other. That's been my main argument ever since I read about the first time or the second time they tried this colonizing thing, and it just didn't work, and they didn't know how to deal with the elements, and everybody's gonna die. That's gotta be rough. And then that's not even your first instance of this cannibalistic nature, because you're familiar with it. You've come
yeah.
you come from this. So I want to
Little
say,
Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood. The Hansel and Gretel.
yep,
These are
all these
about
good
eating
stories,
children.
absolutely, absolutely. And then Disney just took it over and tried to romanticize all the horror and gruesome. Um, no, it's crazy because with with the romanticizing of the nastiness and the horrors, do you find that there are melanated people who want that high weight? They want that experience. They want to be able to shut it off. And I get that. If black is a target, because a lot of us were taught that, your black skin makes you a target. It doesn't really matter what you do, who you are, what you have accomplished, where you are, or anything. What you have, none of that matters, because when we see you, we see black. From there, we're going to treat you like whatever it is that we've been treating you. It's it makes sense that people would want to divorce themselves from the association of being the object of someone's hatred. We talk about the object of someone's affection, but we are the catalyst for their anger. And I want
Critical
to say
race
it was
theory.
Omar. What do you say?
Critical race theory. Number one, they hate you. Number two, they created a race in which you're not supposed to win. And number three, they want to kill you. Oh yes. Critical race theory.
Critical race theory is crazy, that you have people saying that our experience is just something that we're thinking about. It's not there isn't data, not anecdotal data, but actual numbers and per capita and all that stuff, how they like to explain things, but they'll just dismiss all of the data because it's not their experience or it's not what they want put out there. I think it's so bizarre that people who've only been here for as long as they've been here have been able to do so much damage. You know, like we need to be on damage control. I think Black America will probably have to pick that role up if we haven't already. Pan-Africanism only exists because of Black America, not because of any other Black people in the world saying that they wanted to do for other Blacks as much as we saw ourselves in them. So then why wouldn't we help? Why wouldn't we lend a helping hand? That's my brother, sister, cousin, whatever. You know, that's our story. That's not their story. And then from there, even there's only other one group of Black people on the planet, and it would be the North Sentinel Island niggas. But they are not Black as much as they just haven't been interrupted. You know, everything around them's been interrupted. So they've seen what happens when you allow the invasion. So shout out to them for being real smart and keeping themselves safe. But outside of them, there are no other Black people on the planet. Everybody else is colonized in their minds. And then even I think the American Black who doesn't associate with being Black has been colonized in their mind. You know, they're an American, they're not a crayon. You know, I'm me. I'm not a color. I'm bigger than a crayon color, and I think that's so stunted because Black is everything.
But you know, Black is, but the thing is, this is that you have to really understand is that is the beauty. You know, that's the beauty of our creation over here. You know, our tripartite origin, Black Aboriginal, Black Irish, Sub-Saharan African. But then the beauty of it is that for many of us, not all of us, but for many of us, we were lucky enough for the white man to differentiate between us, white folk, Black folk. And because of the fact, in a sense, that's why we have this emphasis on Blackness, you know, and you know, and all our other Pan-African brothers from Africa, the Caribbean say, why do you people and why do you Blacks always want to talk about Black first? Well, we were indoctrinated in that way, and I'm glad I was. I'm glad I was, because see, I just feel so happy that I knew to love a Black woman. You see, because I am so elated that I had those 52 years with my wife, and the friendship that we had. And as I've said before, family, don't get mad at me, but I'm sorry, a white person cannot love you. They can't love you. You can have good sex with them, maybe, but you can't. They won't love you. They can't love you. You may think you love them, but the minute they call you nigger, you're gonna get mad. But if that sister call you nigger, you're gonna be okay. Black is.
Black is. I like that. You didn't get with someone like your mom, but you did. She's a Black woman, right?
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth, you know, your mom and your playa dad, that didn't turn you off from being with someone like you. In real time, I don't know what it is. I've seen people come from Black households and then go do something else. And I think it's because of what I was pushing back against earlier. You can't say such things without a caveat, disclaimer, fine print, big print. There's got to be some sort of glaring warning when you tell someone that you're allowed to be you. Because inside of that, you allowed to be you, people right now in 2024 are saying, well, I feel like a pig and I'm going to go get some mud from outside. And I watched this video the other day. This chick, she went out. I don't know where she went and got the mud. She had a bucket of mud and she's in her bathroom and she put the mud on the floor. And then she proceeded to roll around in the mud like a pig. And she
was Caucasian, wasn't she?
Oh, of course. She's very white. And she's a pig for the internet, for clout, for her mental. I don't know.
No, no, as I told you, 10,000 years in the cave, they're able to disassociate reality and they can departmentalize. Remember that's where we got the multiple personalities from in terms of psychology.
Oh,
And so then they're able, in a sense, they're able to departmentalize. They can separate that self through transhumanism. They can separate that self. But black is being who you are, and black is being able, in a sense, to 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 feel free. See that's the one thing that the European has always allowed us. He always told us that you could be Jezebel and and I could be hoe chasing. So see, the European gave us that freedom. See, he allowed us to be us. Those people want to do that, but I don't really think that's good. I don't really think, in a sense, I don't really think you should be a cheater. I think that a cheater wastes his motion. And I think a cheater eventually loses his or herself because they can't build a real relationship. Because to build a real relationship, you got to have trust. And I think as a cheater, you can't be trusted, and you don't trust yourself. And since you can't have trust within your being, how can you have trust with someone else? So black is being, in a sense, able to be you within restrictions. You said that I'm giving a too much leeway. No, I remember I was the when I went to Iowa, when I was the head of the student affairs. I was in student affairs, and I was the head of the Black Culture Center. The first Black Culture Center at Iowa State University, I was the director of, and I wish I would have never took that job. And I used to, and so then my baby, my son, I said, damn. I hope he doesn't marry a white woman. I always tell my kids, that as soon as I graduated from Illinois, we left Urbana-Champaign and went back to Chicago. And they said, "Why'd you do that, Pops?" I said, "Because I didn't want y'all marrying no white men and no white women, you know." And that's why I moved back to Chicago, so you could be around black people. And then they said that doesn't mean we would have married white folks. I said if I'd have stayed down there, and if I would have got to be a professor, and we're living in Urbana, and you're going to school with nothing but white people from elementary school on up, then you'd be, in a sense, you'd definitely be talking a little different, and you would definitely be marrying one of them, and I wouldn't even know who the hell you were.
that is rich, and it's real. That goes into those anecdotal stories. That the black person who's with the other, they want us to feel them so strongly because their experience, they've never been around that racist person, or even if they were around that racist person, this person that they love has never treated them like that. It's never been like that. I've also seen the relationship where their parents are still very racist, but because they now have a child, the grandparents, the white grandparents, are trying something new. They're trying. They don't quite see black. They definitely don't see white, but they don't quite see black. And I think it's, they start seeing themselves in the children, and it's like, well, how can you? But like you said, if you can disassociate, then you absolutely can. And
But then they can become a danger to those children later,
exactly,
because
exactly.
the racism, the feelings of superiority are there.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you about that, because in real time their racism didn't go anywhere. They got selfish, maybe. They want to continue to exist. It's like Get Out. Like that you've got white people in blackface. You can relate to that. You can't. What?
That was up from your mom.
I know, Mom, get out the jet. Just listen if you're gonna
You're
listen.
a you're a Pooh Bear. You're a Pooh Bear. That's what my wife called. We used to call my grandson Pooh Bear. That means that she's just crazy and enamored with her baby girl.
Oh, well, thank you, Mom. And look, in real time, I mean, you know what I know about interracial relationships in our family. And I don't know that I'll ever say that I agree with it as much as if we're talking about partnership and we're talking about business, I can get that. I can get how two people can come together and say we're gonna make some money together. And come what may, yeah, you're gonna have some shit to deal with. I'm gonna have some shit to deal with, whatever. But we're gonna make some money together. I get that. That maths to me. But I don't know that the majority of these relationships are happening like that. Maybe arranged marriages are happening like that, where they're saying, this is a business, a family business. We're thinking about 50 and 100 years later versus people who are just falling in love and getting married because they love. And I love Johnny and I love Sarah. And,
But even when those come on, even seriously, when those black people marry those white women, or those black women marry those white men, a lot of it in a sense is intentional, but it's also in a sense materialistic. They tried, like I'll never forget a few years ago. I forgot. Yeah, yeah, and I forgot. And I saw this series of videos, and a lot of black women who had married white guys were talking about the fact they don't want to have certain discussions. They don't want to have certain. They don't like it when black people are killed by the police because they don't know how to talk that situation over with their partners, with their husbands and boyfriends, because they don't approach it. And so it can be. I found that was a big thing a few years ago, because I remember Tariq and was having arguments with some of the divestors who felt in the sense that was going too far.
no,
There
I,
were a lot of-
I, I 100% agree with that.
yeah.
Like, as a black person, I don't know that I've ever talked to a black person that never felt some kind of way about being pulled over, even if they were a code switcher, white collar, white black guy, Oreo, whatever you want to call him. They've even still felt some kind of way, because of the target that is black. I mean, is the bullseye target black? I don't know. I guess I need to see a picture, but for what it's worth, all of us have the same feelings. They don't have the same feelings. They might be, and this is where spelling matters to me. Sympathy and empathy are not the same thing. But then people will think that, because someone's sympathetic to your needs or your experience, that they understand. And that's
But they
not what
don't.
sympathy is. That's
No.
empathy. Like, we having two different conversations, and I don't know that I want my man to feel sorry for me as much as if my man understands what I've been through because he's been through something like that, can we have a connection?
Tia to you says, we are organic to this land, so our love is organic here, not with the others. What do you think about that?
I like it. It goes back to the black people from the black land. And America gets a bad rap. I've heard so many people talk about our landmass as this North American wilderness. We've got, it's not the motherland. We don't necessarily have mangoes growing on trees as much as we've got orange fields,
We got
groves.
crab apples. We got
Right. We've
crab
got
apples.
and we've got vineyards. There
Yeah.
we've got all the climates. I
Yeah.
love it here. I love being able to have seen snow, but I know that some of y'all here have not seen snow. Where I live specifically is the bee's knees. But in real time, I I find that the soil here is fertile. It is black. This is a black land of sorts. And then inside of that, Do you know how to work it? Because if you don't know how to work it, it's not going to work for you. So
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You got to explain that now. You got to explain that.
I'm saying, like, you might have all of the ingredients, but you can't bake the cake. You know, you've got everything that you need for the cake: flour, sugar, eggs, butter, milk, baking soda, maybe, I don't know. And then, but nobody told you to crack the egg.
Or to add the salt.
Right. So you've got the ingredients, but you've got zero know-how, and nobody's there to teach you how to do it. So being organic to the land, Tia, I think that's hella important because it speaks to the hierarchy of things, or at least where we're supposed to be in space. Because I think we have a big problem with that too. Our position in time and space. We've been interrupted by people whose culture is to interrupt. So, they're doing what they do. Now we need to do what we do, which is, if they're going to interrupt something, then it's time to invent something to combat that, maybe, or to thwart it, or a loophole of sorts. I don't know. But our love would be with the like-minded individuals, unless there's some trauma. And I see that all the time. People don't want to say, I don't like my mom. So
No,
fuck
you
her.
don't want to say that.
They don't want to say that, but in real time, look at who you chose as your partner. So you did the opposite of what I said. You didn't find someone like her. You said, I don't want any of that. And I don't care that it is a piece of me. I don't want any of it. I want something else. But that's not love as much as it's hurt. And then now I find we're having a black and white conversation all over again, because
Black is. Create So Far said those interracial couples of blacks and white, a lot of them, I can feel the tension within them as they walk towards me down the street. It's as if they feel everyone else who's black is out to get them. I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think they feel that other black people are out to get them? I think they're celebrating. I think they feel that they're looking good and that you really wish you were them.
Yeah, no, I think I feel that more than the target that we were talking about. But I get it. If you're self-conscious with your decision, which I see that all the time, you want someone to accept your mate. And that's a problem for me, because it means that you haven't accepted your mate. You have to accept you, and you have to accept the person that you lay with every night. And that has zero to do with me, unless I'm the person that you're laying with every night. So there is that. But outside of that,
but I think that, to me, I'm not in, I never been in a relationship with them. They wanted me, but the point is this: is that I really think that to really have a good relationship, to have a really good interracial relationship, I think that you have to establish, in your mind, not through a discussion, but you have to establish in your mind, barriers that you're not going to cross. I think to get along, I think you have to do that. I don't think they get together and say, well, you shouldn't do this, I won't do that. I don't think they do that. I think they're afraid to do that, because then that would present difference, and you're not supposed to have difference if you're in so much love.
That's true. That's true.
So I think it's very complicated.
It is, because you're going to say, as the black person, you can't say the N-word. And then the first time they get mad, this nigga bitch, and then it's like, oh shit, I drew a line in the sand that I didn't actually mean to draw, because I'm not going to do anything. I mean, it hurt my feelings. I didn't like being called that, but Brad is, I don't know. That's why they don't draw those lines in the sand. But that would be, that's where they would start. They would say, well, I'm black and you're white, and you can't say the N-word. We're celebrating Juneteenth. Black History Month it's Christmas over here. They would be very stereotypical.
You got to learn how to braid hair.
Right. And look, right now, if you go on TikTok, they've got the Black Wife Experience, or the black husband experience where these
Oh,
white
really?
people, these white people are showing what happens to them as a result of being with a black person. And it's always like some swagalicious type transformation. So your Brad used to be boring and vanilla. Now he's with you. He's got a shape up and he knows how to dress better.
He's still
Black
boring.
white experience. That's the black wife experience. He's still corny ass Brad, right? Like he's still very much into his Dungeons and Dragons and his sword collection and chopping people up on his spare time. That's what he's into. He didn't change. He just his outfit changed. Dr. Winters, I think that black is everything that someone wants it to be. And right now, well, it's a beautiful time right now because we're delineating. And in real time, people get to attach themselves to the shit or separate themselves from the shit. Either way, both and or neither. But right now, it's a good time to be black.
It is. Because like you said, it's delineating, and it's not really separation. Because when I say B1 is Pan-Africanism. The only difference is that being B1 mean you love all black people, but you're not going to allow other people who may happen to be black to feel they're better than you.
I like that definition. I don't know if my definition is the same as yours. It seems similar, but black first, it would be to respect the home that you're in. From there, I don't know that black Americans are going anywhere on this planet trying to take over or insert themselves into as much as they want to lend a helping hand. And I find that that's Pan-Africanism. But if it's not going to be a quid pro quo, then you can't expect the same courtesies. You're in my home and I would treat your home with respect. You should treat my home with respect. That's black first to me.
Yeah, that is black first, but that's the way it's got to be, because most people, in a sense, they come over and to me, anybody who's an immigrant, they're a crook, and because most people who are immigrants will do anything. Not all people, but most people who immigrate or move somewhere, they'll do anything to get ahead. And so to me, they're not all criminals, but they have that mindset. Thank everybody for coming. And did you want to have a final comment? Black is?
No, black is what you want it to be, right? So I think if you love you, then black will be everything you want it to be. If you have a problem with you, then, black might be something that you have a problem with. But, just go back, rewind this show, come to some sort of understanding about who you are, and maybe black will be as beautiful as I think it is to you. So that's all.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one. Vampires, they prey on your fears, so them not stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere.